Alhamdulillah, today we have our fourth lesson in regards to the fortitude in fasting, insha'Allah. Everything okay, Akib? So insha'Allah we'll dig right into the fourth lesson, insha'Allah. The first question we have for today, so just a quick recap of what we were looking at in the previous lesson. We were looking at the situation for a musafir, for a traveler. Does he have to fast or not? And we learned that when it comes to a musafir, when it comes to a traveler, if he sets for the journey after Fajr, then he needs to fast that day. He needs to fast that day. Now, during the journey, if he finds it very difficult, then he is allowed to break it. But if he starts the journey after Fajr, then he needs to start the day with roza. He needs to. Some people think that my journey is today at 2 p.m. I don't need to fast. No, that's wrong. You need to start the day fasting. You need to start the day fasting. We even looked at a sick person. We learnt about if a sick person fears for his life, if he was to fast, then he doesn't have to fast. Then he doesn't need to fast. It's only in the situation where he has a new sort of illness, an illness that he's never had before, then he needs to take mashwara, he needs to take consultation, get professional advice from a doctor. If the doctor tells him he shouldn't fast, then he doesn't need to fast. And we even looked at the insane person and even a person who's unconscious. So for more details in regards to these people with the different situations, please look at lesson 3. Inshallah, today we are beginning with lesson 4. And the first question we have for today, how would a person make up for his qada fasts if his death approaches? Okay, so we learned if a person misses a fast in Ramadan, he needs to make up for the qada. And we even learned last lesson, if he starts the fast and he breaks it for no reason, for example, let's take Akib, and let's say he's began the day fasting, and halfway through the day he says, do you know what, I can't be bothered, and he decides to drink a glass of water, then not only will he need to keep the qada, he will also need to do kafara, which is an extra 60 days fasts, which we learnt in last lesson. So inshallah, now what we're learning here, this question is, let's say for example a person, he has qada fasts, he's got qada fast, maybe because he was ill, maybe because he was traveling, maybe because he was unconscious for a couple of days. So what should he do? What should that person do? And of course in this scenario we have an extra condition. This person is about to die. Yeah, this person is about to die, and he sees that I haven't got enough days. I have 30 days qada, and my doctors told me I've only got 10 days to live. What should he do? What can he do? Can he make up for the whole qada? He can't. It's impossible now for him. If he is to die after those 10 days, it will be impossible for him to make up for all of those 30 days. So what should he do? The answer is, first and foremost, he should seek Allah's forgiveness. He should ask Allah for forgiveness, for not having kept the qada earlier, or any shortcoming on his side, why he wasn't able to keep the fasts in the first place. He should seek Allah's forgiveness. He should do istighfar. And then secondly, what he must do, he must leave a bequest. He must leave a will. He should write in his will to the people that will inherit. So for example, he should make out to his wife, to his sons and daughters. He should write in his will instructing them to do what? To feed on his behalf. From his inheritance, to feed on his behalf a miskeen, a poor person. Okay, we went over last lesson, what does miskeen mean? For now, let's just understand miskeen means a needy person. Okay, so so he should instruct his inheritors to feed on his behalf a miskeen for every missed fast, as fidya. So this is the fidya, this is how he will make up. Fidya refers to making up for the days that he's unable to do now. So for example, if there's 30 days qada he has and he can't do it now, in his will he should make a bequest that from my inheritance, from 1/3 of my inheritance, okay, it can't be more than 1/3. From one third of my inheritance, 30 days of fidya. 30 fidya should be given to poor people. Okay, and how much is fidya? We're going to look right now. Okay, so he can either write in his will that they need to feed a miskin physically, feed them food, a full meal, or he can make it in his bequest that it be given from his wealth, be given from his money. Okay, and how much is the fidya? Okay, when it comes to in terms of wheat, it's half a sa'. Sa' is an Arabic term used for measurement, and if you were to say it in kg, it's less than 2 kg. Remember that, it's less than 2 kg of wheat, or 1 sa', which is less than 4 kg of barley. Okay, and this approximates to 3 pounds or 8 pounds. Okay, 8 pounds if you look at barley, and 3 pounds if you look at wheat. Okay, so in a nutshell, for every day a person has missed and has qada, and remember the condition, he is about to die. He hasn't got the time to make up for the fast now. Physically, he can't do roza, he can't fast himself. In his will, he should write that for every missed day, 3 pounds be given to the poor. This is what we call fidya. Okay. Now, in regards to this as well, how would a very old person, okay, let's say a person, he doesn't know when he's about to pass away, he doesn't know, but he doesn't have the capability, he can't physically fast, he doesn't have the taqat, he doesn't have the strength to fast himself. How would a very old person who cannot fast make up for the qada? How will he make up for it? Now, in the previous one, we learned that this person is about to die. He hasn't got the time, so he needs to write it in his bequest. This person does have time, but physically he can't do it. Yeah, he's very old. In Arabic, you call this Sheikh Fani, a person who is getting older and older, weaker and weaker as the days go by. This is what in Arabic you call Sheikh Fani. So what should he do? A very old person who can no longer fast, and as I said, known as Sheikh Fani, he will be exempt from fasting because he can't fast, he won't need to keep the qada. But what will he need to do instead? Same as previous, he will need to give fidya. He will need to give fidya on behalf of every fast he has missed. So 30 days he has missed, for example, 30 fidyas. Okay, so that will be 30 times 3 in a sense. 90 pound needs to be given as fidya. Okay, in my instance, for example, I right now in this situation, I can't give fidya. Why? Because I have the taqat, I have the strength to fast. I can do the qada. If I can't do the qada, if I am getting older and older and weaker and I physically can't, then I will do this. I will give fidya, okay, roughly 3 pound, yeah, for every day I've missed to the miskin, inshallah. Okay, and for the missed prayers, on this note, as well as qada, roza, if you have qada namaz, even for qada namaz, what should a person do? A person that has qada namaz and he hasn't read them, okay, he should make a bequest. This person should also make a will to his inheritors to tell them that for every namaz I've missed, give 1 fidya. So every day there's how many namazes? Not 5, 6, because witr is like a separate namaz. So as you need to pray the qada of witr as well if you miss the witr. So for every day there's 6 namazes. So 6 fidyas for every day. So for example, if a person, he knows that he's missed 30 days namaz in his life, 30 days namaz in his life, and his time has come, in his will he should write that 30 days times by 6 namazes for each day. How much is that? That's 6 of 180 namazes. So for 180 namazes, 180 fidya should be given. So 180 fidya will be 180 times 3. So let's say Leicester is basically 540 pounds. From the top of my head, I believe 540 pounds he will need to give in fidya to make up for all of his namazes. Now for example, let's say I have I have qada, for example. I have qada namazes, I should be making it up, I should be praying it. But let's say I'm on my deathbed. then I should tell my inheritors, right now I don't have the time, so from my will, give this much money for my namazis that I have missed. So this is very important. As Muslims, we know how many qada namazis we have and how many qada rozas we have. If we don't know if it's too much, we need to calculate it. We need to always approximate it and always round it up, never round it down, to be on the safe side. Do you understand? Qada namazis we need to make up for, whether it's in this life or even if it's after this life, it needs to be made up for, inshallah. Okay? So for the missed prayers, as I was saying, that haven't been fulfilled, a bequest should be made to give fidya for each prayer. And this will be 6 fidyas for each day, including the witr salah. Uncle, do you have any question in regards to these questions? Is everything okay so far?
Like, fidya, you give for the salah and is it given at this, you can give same time?
So like I said, fidya for roza. Let me ask you, for example, uncle, do you, just a straight up question, do you fast in Ramadan?
Yeah.
So if you have any qada, forget about kafara, if you have any qada, uncle, you can't do the fidya, you need to do the qada fast. Because you can physically fast in Ramadan, then you can physically do the qada fast. If for example you can't fast, yeah, let's say Ramadan comes and a person can't even fast in Ramadan, and this person will be known as Sheikh Fani. He'll be known as Sheikh Fani. I think literally means a deteriorating person, someone he's getting closer and closer to his death. So this person, because he can't fast in Ramadan, then he will give fidya. 30 days fidya will be £90. If you look at each fidya, £3.
You can give it at one go.
So we're going to come to that question, but let me tell you the short answer. Yes, fidya you can give it in one go. If I have 30 days fidya I need to give, of course I can't give, you can't give, Sheikh Fani has to give, because he is the person that can't fast. So if Sheikh Fani has 30 days fidya, he can give £90 to the poor. He can give it to one person, he can give it to several people, doesn't matter, but he needs to know, he needs to give £90. There's other things he can do. He can give them wheat. If he wants to, he can give them wheat or flour. How much? Less than 2 kg each person. Or if he wants to give 2 kg times 30 days is how much? 60 kg. So maybe if he wants to, he can give 60 kg of wheat. Do you understand? To one miskin. All these different things. And for the namaz, Shaykh Fani should be praying the namaz. Okay, he should be trying to. If he can't do it standing, he should sit. Yeah, he can't. We can't give fidya for namaz whilst we are alive. Okay, that's why in that case we need to make a bequest. We need to write in our will that this much fidya should be given for my missed namazes. Does that make sense? Inshallah, uncle. So there's fidya for namaz, fidya for roza. Fidya is the same. £3 for each fast, £3 for each namaz.
The recipient of fidya and zakat are the same category,
yes.
Same type of people.
Yes,
so give to anybody else.
So miskin,
those who are eligible for zakat, they are also eligible for fidya.
Exactly. So one thing we even did speak about last lesson, miskin kya hai, faqir kya hai. There's a difference between miskin and faqir. Faqir is this person who has nothing. He has nothing. Wa bilkul faqir. He will come and ask you for money. He will come and beg you. Miskin, according to in Ma'arif al-Quran, miskin is not as bad as faqir. Miskin does have money, but it's not more than the nisab. It's not enough. It's only maybe enough for 6 months or something. Do you understand? And he won't beg. Necessarily the miskin might not beg. Okay? But he is in need. A miskin might have his basic needs. He might have a house he live in, but he doesn't have enough to buy food for a whole year. So then even him we will give zakat. Do you understand? So just faqir is more, you can say his situation is more worse. More eligible, they are both eligible. Okay? So miskin or faqir, you will give fidya. Do you understand, uncle, inshallah?
Yeah.
Okay? So this was the question. For the fidya of namazis for a person who can't, so fidya for roza for a person who can't keep roza, for a very old buzurg person. And the next question, we've already touched upon this, how much is the fidya? Fidya kitne hai? How much is it? Okay, Allah says in the Holy Quran that the fidya is feeding a miskin, feeding them food. Do you understand? Okay, so you can either give them half a sa', which is 1.92 kg of wheat. Let's just say, for easy on our head, in our mind, less than 2 kg of wheat. Less than 2 kg of wheat is the fidya. Okay, or if you can't physically give less than 2 kg of wheat, give its value, give its wealth, give its amount, which is about 3 pounds. And less than 4 kg of barley is 8 pounds. So of course, whichever you want to give, it's fine. You can give the 3 pounds, or if you want to give more for each fidya, you can give 8 pounds. Now, if you have a lot of fidya, if you have 60, 70 fidyas, you're most likely going to follow the 3 pound, isn't it? Because the 8 pound, if you want to give the 8 pound, that's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But of course, the 3 pound is based on the wheat, the price of wheat. 2 kg of wheat is about 3 pound. Of course, it might be different now. Of course, you want to check your local groceries and see how much it is. And even if you want to check in back home, you can check how much the wheat is back home and give the physical wheat if you want to as well. That's fine. So you can give the wheat, or you can give 3 pounds to the miskin. Okay, so you will give it to the miskin, to the poor person, yeah, or you can even give it to sadaqah. You know how you have sadaqah boxes in the masjid? You can even give your fidya to sadaqah, because of course this sadaqah is going to go where? It's going to feed the miskin, it's going to feed the fuqara. But when you give it in sadaqah, you have the intention of fulfilling fidya. You have the intention of fulfilling fidya. If you have the intention, I'm giving sadaqah, then of course it won't be fulfilled as fidya. When you give it in sadaqah, in the sadaqah boxes, in the masajids or the madaris, then you need to have it in your mind, I am giving this as to fulfill my fidya. For example, if I had 30 days, I'll put 90 pounds, or if I want to give 100 to round it up, the more, alhamdulillah, the more better. If I want to give 100 pounds in the sadaqah box, I will have in my mind, I am giving this to fulfill my 30 days fidya. Bismillah. Do you understand? So this is how you will fulfill it. And this is how much the fidya is. 3 pound or less than 2 kg of wheat or flour. Wheat, of course, what does wheat become? What do people use wheat for? To make flour. To make flour. So of course, look at how much 2 kg of flour is, inshallah, in the shops. Now, one of the questions you were saying, can you give the fidya of many days? For example, can you give 30 days fidya to one miskin? Or do you need to give one fidya to one miskin? How does it work? Of course, uncle, in the previous lesson, we talked about kafara. We talked about kafara. Now, for example, for maybe even yourself, if you have the capability, if we have to do kafara, do you know what kafara refers to? No, kafara is, for example, misal ke taur par, it's not substitute. Kafara is, say for example, I'm fasting in Ramadan and then I break the fast. For no reason, I break the fast. Maine fast, tuta. For no reason. Firstly, I need to keep qada. And secondly, I need to keep kafara. So qada, how much is the qada going to be? If I break 1 day fast, how much is the qada? 1 day, isn't it? No. Qada is 1 day. If I break 1 day fast, then qada of this 1 day is 1 day. But on top of that 1 day, I need to keep kafara. How much is kafara? You said just a while ago, how much did you say kafara is?
3 pounds.
Huh? No, kafara. For me. You said 60 days, didn't you?
No, 60
Abhi to aapne 60 days kaha.
days, yeah.
So kafara is 60 days. Kafara is 60 days for me. And I need to fast these 60 days all in one go. All in one go. I can't miss anyone in between. So in total, how many days do I need to fast if for breaking this?
If you work 3 days now, you need to break 60, 180.
No. Kafara, we spoke about last lesson. Kafara, how many days you break in Ramadan, you just have to give one kafara. So if I break,
for one kafara, if I
so kafara is for the whole month. So
not if I broken 3 fasts.
For no reason. For no reason you broke 3 fasts.
I need 60.
No.
Just 60.
Just 60.
Okay.
60, and for every day you have, I am keeping kafara. I am keeping kafara. I am keeping kafara. Do you understand? You have the intention. You just 60 days.
Okay.
And for the 3 days you missed, you need to keep you need to keep an extra 3. Because to make up for the qada. So the kafara is something extra. You understand? So this was kafara for...
Kafara remains the same.
Yeah, kafara is for each month you have kafara. The kafara is for the whole month. Do you understand? Whether you missed one day, whether you break one day on purpose or you break 10 days on purpose, you just need to keep one kafara. Okay? So kafara for me, fasting 60 days.
Maybe for one fast you have got 60 days.
No. That's gonna be too hard. That's gonna be too hard. If you now miss, if you now break a fast in one Ramadan and you break fast in next Ramadan, then you need to keep 2 kafara, because one kafara is for each Ramadan. You understand? Kafara is for each Ramadan. So kafara for me will be 60 days. But let's say, for example, kafara for old person, someone who is very old. Yeah, what does an old person have to do? An old person who can't fast, jo roza nahi rakh sakte, he needs to give, for each day he needs to give fidya. For each day he needs to give fidya. So in a sense, he'll need to give 60 days. 60 days fidya. So let's say, for example, he need to give £3. Yeah? Do you understand? But in kafara you can't give all in one go to one person. No. Kafara needs to be done in 60 separate occasions. So for example, if I give kafara to one poor person, I give that one poor person for 60 days £3. I can't give him 180 in one go. Not allowed. Do you understand? I need to give him every day £3. Every day £3. Or if I have 2 people, I can give the 2 people £3 each. So then that will only be 30 days. Do you understand? It needs to be 60 separate occasions with kafara. With fidya, when it comes to a poor person, when it comes to a person who can't make up the days, of course now we are not talking about kafara, are we? We are just talking about making up the day. This person, he can give 30 days all in one go. It's not like kafara. This is different. He can do it all in one go. It doesn't need to be 30 separate occasions. So when you look at the answer, a person is allowed to split the cost of one fidya amongst many miskin. So even, for example, one fidya is £3. If I want to, I can give 3 poor people £1 each. Main ye bhi kar sakta. I can give one person £1, one person £1, another poor person £1. £3 ho gaya, one fidya done. Or similarly, I can give, for example, 10 days fidya. For example, now I have £30 fidya, I can give to one poor person. Yeah, my 10 days fidya is £30. If I want to give one miskin £30, fidya for 10 days is done. Fidya for 10 days is done. In kafara you can't do this. Kafara you can't give 10 days kafara in one go. No, you need to give, for 10 days. You understand? That's the difference with fidya. So fidya is not like, as I wrote, fidya is not like kafara. Like where kafara you have to feed 60 miskin. You have to feed 60 miskin. And you can't give one miskin the value of 60 days. You can't give one miskin in one go the value of 60 days on one occasion. And of course we already spoke about this in last lesson. Okay, we spoke about kafara in detail last lesson. So when it comes to fidya, you can give it easily. Fidya is more easier to fulfill than kafara. Kafara is very hard. Why? Why is kafara so hard? Because understand this, kafara is for that reason. If you break Ramadan fast for no reason, if you have no reason, if you just drink for no reason, that's it. Then you have to pay the penalty, and the penalty is 60 is kafara. And how to fulfill kafara, we spoke about it already. Fidya is easier. You don't need to do it alaida. You don't need to do it separately.
Like a punishment.
In a sense, let's call it, because
it
is much stronger than fidya. Because uncle, for example, in my situation, fasting for 60 days in one go, do you think it's going to be easy? It's going to be hard. What if I fall ill? I need to start it all over again. Do you understand? So the question to, can you give the fidya of 10 days, 20 days to one miskin? Yes, you can. You can. Okay? Now the next question, can one's children, one's awlad, can he pay for the fidya of his father's prayers and fasts? So say for example, the father has passed away, but he has missed namazes. He has missed fasts. And he didn't write anything in his will. Kuch bhi nahi likha in his will. So can the children, if they want to, can they fulfill it? So let's look at the question. Fidya is like zakat. Understand this first of all. Fidya is like zakat. So the zakat on your money, can your son pay for it from his money? Uncle, the zakat on your money, can your son pay for your zakat?
No, I should be.
You need to do it, isn't it? So fidya is like zakat. For this reason, uncle, the children cannot fulfill the fidya. Children cannot fulfill the fidya which is on their parent with their money. That's why it's very important, if a person has qada namazes or qada fast, he should write it in his will. He should write it in his bequest. Okay?
Or while he gives certain amount, okay, give this as my zakat. Irrespective, he is not written in the will, he tells his son.
Meaning, for example,
Then
but it needs to be in the will. It needs to be in the will, because when we look at rulings of will, yeah, you're allowed to give 1/3. If I have, let's say for example, I have £10,000 in my will. 1/3 of £10,000 is 3,333. Yeah. So 3,300 up to 3,333, I can give in sadaqah. I can give for masajid. And if I have fidya, then I should tell my children that make sure from this money, from the 3,333 pounds, this much money is paid for my fidya. Do you understand? Very important. If I haven't prayed the qada namazis, if I haven't made the qada fast, then I need to make sure I tell my children to do it from my money. Not from their money. From whose money? From
your money.
my money. Okay? Just how zakat, which is due on your money, it cannot be fulfilled by me, can it? You need to fulfill it. Yes, you need to fulfill it. I can't fulfill your zakat. So therefore, uncle, look at the last statement. It is wajib. It is wajib for a person to leave a bequest, leave in his mirath, leave in his will, for the fidya to be paid from only 1/3 of his wealth. It can't go more than 1/3. It has to be 1/3 or less. Do you understand? So it's very important we make this bequest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next question we have, we're talking about Shaykh Fani, yes? We spoke about Shaykh Fani, someone who is very old, he can't fast, he's not able to fast. So what will he do? For every fast, he will already give fidya, yes? So for example, if Ramadan comes and he's unable to fast Ramadan, he will give how many days fast? How many days fidya? How many days in Ramadan? How many days in Ramadan? 30, isn't it?
Yeah.
30. So he will give 30 days fidya. But now the question, what if a person, question Nabi, uncle, what if a person due to very old age or the illness, jo Shaykh Fani hai, he is given fidya for his qada fast, but all of a sudden, wo theek ho gaya. All of a sudden, wo behtar ho gaya. He's become better. Of course, this situation very rare, very, very rare. But let's say, for example, someone who's, they're getting weaker and weaker. All of a sudden, Allah ne usko taqat di, Allah ne usko sehat ata farmaye. He become better. And now uski taqat hai roze rakhne ka. Now he is able to fast. But of course, he's already given fidya for, let's say, for example, he's given fidya for 30 days. Usne fidya de diya for 30 days. And now it will be taken as sadaqah. So the question, he must now keep fast. Abhi uska roza rakhna zaruri hai. He must keep fast. And jo fidya usne diya, the fidya he gave for the 30 days, this fidya will become sadaqah, nafal sadaqah. It will become nafal sadaqah. It will still add to his reward. But he now, those fasts are now qada upon him all over again. He needs to make up for those physically. And now let's say, for example, he becomes Shaykh Fani again, then of course, then he'll need to give the fidya all over again. So this is a very rare case. Hardly this will happen. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I have qada fast and my son wants to keep the qada fast on my behalf. Is this allowed? Can my son fast for me? Can my son pray namaz for me? No. So what do you think about fasting? One cannot keep fast on behalf of another. One cannot fulfill the fast on behalf of another. That person, he must keep the qada when possible. He must keep the qada when possible. And if he is not able to keep qada fast, he must fulfill the fidya. Remember, how much is the fidya in pounds? £3. Keep in your mind, easy number, £3. Okay, for each fast. That's the fidya. Now, what is the ruling? Another question. What is the ruling if one reaches puberty in Ramadan? And in Arabic, puberty is baligh. Yeah, of course, it happens through a wet dream or through age. 15 Islamic years, which is about less than 15 years of age. 15 Islamic years, the days are shorter, aren't they? So 15 Islamic years, once you become 15, then automatically you are baligh. Yeah, you are baligh. And before 15, if you have a wet dream, then you are baligh. Do you understand? So what is the ruling if one reaches puberty in Ramadan? Now let's say, for example, a child, 10 days of Ramadan went by. And now on the 11th day, he became baligh. He's gone through puberty. What about the 10 days that went? Does he need to keep qada for that? No, simple. He will not need to keep the qada. He will not need to keep the qada. Say that again?
He was not
He was not baligh.
eligible or whatever.
Yeah, he hadn't gone through puberty. Okay? He wasn't baligh. Okay, so he will not need to keep the qada of those days before reaching puberty. After becoming baligh, after reaching puberty, now he must keep the fasts. Abhi uski roza rakna zaruri hai. So for the last 20 days, you'll need to keep the fast, inshaAllah. And now the next question we spoke about fidya. We looked into fidya. Now let's quickly look at this. What is sadaqatul fitr? Of course, we learn sadaqatul fitr. We learn about it in Ramadan. We learn the Eid is known as Eid al-Fitr, isn't it? Yeah. So what is sadaqatul fitr? What is it? It's a type of sadaqah. And when is it given? When is it wajib? Sadaqatul fitr, if you look on the board, sadaqatul fitr is wajib upon that person upon whom zakat is wajib. जिस पर zakat wajib है, उस आदमी पर sadaqatul fitr भी wajib है. Or maybe, for example, let's say for example, zakat is not wajib on you. Zakat is not wajib on you. But maybe sadaqatul fitr is wajib on you. Do you know how, for example?
Fitr is wajib on any child or anything born, even 1 day old. Fitr you have to give.
No, sadaqatul fitr is, if we look here, it's on, yes, as you're saying, that's right. But what I'm trying to say is, let's say for example, I don't know if you know this, uncle. Nisab, how much is the nisab? Do you know when it comes to zakat? Do you know what it means by nisab?
Zakat.
No, nisab. So
means a way to calculate.
So nisab is the amount of money you need to have to fit the criteria of giving zakat. So for example, if you look nisab on the board, let me go back 1 second.
400 pounds.
It's 3, let me just go back. I just figured it out today. I looked at the silver price. Silver price is 51.2p. 51.2p. So 51.2 times by 612.35, this equals 356 pounds. 356 pounds. So if I have in my bank or in my wallet or together combined, if I have just 356 pounds, then I need to give zakat.
356 pounds spare.
Yeah, meaning.
Not that I have to pay some things from those things.
Meaning what you mean by that, meaning yani
qada,
yani qarz nahi hai.
I have fulfilled my
all my debts.
Needs, and it's,
all my debts.
For me to given away, use as I want.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I have no debts. I have no, what do you call it? Like I look at the day. I look at the day and I look at all my accounts. Okay. Like, if I owe someone 10,000 pounds, then I need to get, I need to make sure I minus 10,000 pounds. After minusing the 10,000 pounds, if I have 356 pounds, then I need to give zakat and I need to give sadaqatul fitr. Does that make sense? I need to give zakat and I need to give sadaqatul fitr. Now, for example, uncle, let's say my account is empty. I just have 100 pound, only 100 pound. But in my driveway, I have 2 cars. How many cars?
2 cars.
Do I need 2 cars?
No.
I just need how many?
1.
So 1 is my basic need, and the other car is more.
And your asset.
Yeah, it's like it's more. Do you understand? I haven't got it in money, but I've got the physical car. Now this person, he only have 100 pound in his account. Does he need to give zakat?
No.
No, because he hasn't got
Anything else.
he hasn't got no other wealth. He hasn't got no other like assets that can be used to buy stuff.
Right.
Do you understand? But because I have a car which is maybe worth £4,000-5,000, I have to give sadaqatul fitr. I have to give sadaqatul fitr, because look at the question. So this sadaqatul fitr, look at the answer. This is wajib on the person upon whom zakat is wajib. जिस पर zakat wajib है उस आदमी पर sadaqatul fitr भी wajib है. Or maybe zakat isn't wajib on him, like the person with the 2 cars, or maybe he has so much furniture in his house, or he has so much pots and pans. Okay, so on this person maybe zakat isn't wajib, but he possesses that which is above his basic needs. He has that which is above his basic needs, and whatever is above his basic needs, that is equal to or more than £356. The price of the car is going to be more than £356, isn't it, uncle? Yeah. So if he has from which is more than his basic needs, and it is equal to or more than the £356, and this £356 in terms of zakat we call it nisab. What do we call it? Nisab. Because nisab always goes up and down, isn't it, based on the price of silver. Even if it is less than a year, if I have that extra car for just 2 months and then it's Eid, then I need to give sadaqatul fitr, isn't it? Okay.
But if something like furniture which is in use, you don't need to.
So extra furniture. So for example, if I have furniture in my house which is used, that's my basic need. But if I have furniture that's not used, not even used, and the price of that furniture is more than £356, then I definitely need to give sadaqatul fitr. Do you understand? So you need to look at what is your basic needs. Yeah. Furniture is basic need, but if it's you got too much, you got so much furniture that you don't even need, jiski zarorat nahi hai, then of course if it's more than £356 that furniture, then you need to give sadaqatul fitr. You understand? So sadaqatul fitr is different to zakat. Zakat is when you have the physical money, the physical wealth in your account, or the gold. Let's say you have jewelry which is more than £356, you need to give. Now sadaqatul fitr, maybe you don't have jewelry, maybe you don't have cash, but you have an extra car, you have extra pots and pans, you have extra furniture, and the value of it is more than the nisab, then you need to give sadaqatul fitr in that case. Okay. And what is the purpose of sadaqatul fitr? It is a means of purification, to purify your fast. Yeah, to purify your fast from any bad, from ill talk, from obscene talk. If you spoke about bakwas in Ramadan, then the sadaqatul fitr, it makes your fast pure. It cleans it from the bakwas. It cleans it from the obscene talk. And it is also a means of food for the poor people. It's a means of food for the poor people. And through sadaqatul fitr, through its virtue, Allah looks over any mistakes in your roza. Allah looks over any shortcomings. And sadaqatul fitr, like I said, sadaqatul fitr is not wajib on a person who is permitted to receive zakat and sadaqah. So for example, a miskin, a faqir, can he? Do they give zakat? Do they give sadaqah? No, they take it. Yes.
They are taking it.
So they don't need to give sadaqatul fitr. Poor people, they do not need to give sadaqatul fitr. Now, when does sadaqatul fitr become wajib? When does it become wajib? Okay, a question.
When you have that much Ashford.
No. Meaning what day? Misal ke taur par, example. If a person die on the 20th of Ramadan, is sadaqatul fitr wajib? Does he need to give sadaqatul fitr? He died before Ramadan finishes. No, because sadaqatul fitr actually becomes wajib. Let me tell you, it becomes wajib on the Eid day. Yes, yeah, it becomes wajib from the Fajr. You know the Fajr of Eid day. As soon as the Fajr time comes in, as soon as Fajr time starts, that's when sadaqatul fitr becomes wajib on you and me. That's when it becomes wajib on you and me, and we should give it before the Eid.
Yeah, normally people give within the month. So
that's fine.
Even if you die,
then it becomes
before the Eid al-Fitr, you given the fitr.
Then that fitr will just be nafal. It will just be nafal sadaqah. It won't be sadaqatul fitr, because the technically. But you've given it, and Eid day comes, it's fine. You've given it before Ramadan finishes and Eid day comes, that's perfectly fine. But the question is, when does it actually become fard on you? When does it become due on you? It becomes due on you on Eid day. From the Fajr and you need to give it before the Salatul Eid. If a person, for example, look at this scenario. If a person dies before Fajr, on the Eid day, he dies on that night, or before Fajr, it will not be wajib on him to fulfill the sadaqah. He will not need to give the sadaqah. He won't need to. If he wants to, he can, of course, it will be nafal, but realistically, sadaqatul fitr will not be wajib on him. Okay? And who is sadaqatul fitr upon? As you said, it's upon every Muslim. Okay? It's upon every Muslim who is a slave or who is free. Do you understand? So, for example, if I have a slave who is a Muslim, then I need to make sure, and he needs to make sure sadaqatul fitr is fulfilled on his behalf. So it's on every slave person, or every free person, or every male or female, and every young child or old person.
For a slave, master should pay his sadaqah.
Meaning, for a slave who doesn't have any wealth, then the master will pay it. Yes, the master will pay it. Okay. If you are a slave but you have some sort of income, maybe, and then of course you're able to pay it from your income, then you should give it from your income. Of course, that's very rare. The master will give it for the slave.
Slavery is not there anymore.
Yeah, it's not there. But what we need to remember, it's for every man, woman, adult, child, and slave and free. Of course, that's not very relevant in this country. Okay, so that's when it becomes wajib. And the next slide we have, what if, inshallah, very soon we'll be finishing, uncle, inshallah. What if one does not give the sadaqatul fitr before the salah? Now we said the sadaqatul fitr is from Fajr before Eid al-Fitr, yes? What if you don't give it before Eid? It might happen, many people maybe don't give it before Eid. They end up giving it after Eid. What happens? If it's not given before, he will still need to give. It's still wajib upon him. He still needs to fulfill it after the salah. And there is no harm in giving it later. There's no harm if he does give it after. But listen to this, okay? The Prophet ﷺ did say though, if anyone pays it before the Eid, it will be accepted as sadaqatul fitr. And if you pay it after, then you still need to pay it, but it will be like a charity, just a normal charity. It will just be sadaqah. Do you understand? So if we want it to count as sadaqatul fitr, if we want it to be,
so you missed the wajib.
So in a sense, you've missed the opportunity to make the sadaqatul fitr to purify your roza. You've missed that opportunity. You still need to give it, but the Prophet said it will be a charity like other charities. It will be a charity like other charities. So if you want that virtue of sadaqatul fitr, if you want your sadaqatul fitr to be a means of purification for your roza, then you need to fulfill it before the Eid namaz. If Eid namaz comes and you still haven't fulfilled it, you still need to do it. But the Prophet ﷺ said, it will just be a charity like other charities. Does that make sense? Okay, so when should we try our best to fulfill it? Definitely give it before the Eid namaz. Okay, before the Eid salah. If you want to give it in Ramadan, that's perfectly fine. If you want to pay it towards, that's perfectly fine. You can. But it becomes wajib on the Fajr of Eid. Okay? The next question we have, can sadaqatul fitr be given in Ramadan? We just spoke about this, didn't we? We just spoke about this right now. Can sadaqatul fitr be given in Ramadan? It can be given during Ramadan. It can. Yeah? It can be given during Ramadan. And there's this scenario, if a child, of course, बच्चे पर ज़कात वाजिब है? No. बच्चे पर, अगर बच्चे, if a child has £1,000 in his account, does he need to give zakat? No. Zakat is only on adults. Only adults, जो बालिग है. Yeah. But if a child receives money and it equates the nisab or more, if it's more than the nisab, then the sadaqatul fitr, it should be given from his money. It should be given. Of course, sometimes parents won't do that. Parents, they will give the sadaqatul fitr for their young boy or for their young girl. But here we learn from the books that the sadaqatul fitr should be given from the child's money. Doesn't have to, but it's there for you to do if you want to.
My children, they are grown up. For Muhammad, I pay sadaqatul fitr.
So this uncle, right now I'm talking about a child. आपने बात की for your son Muhammad. Muhammad, he's more than 20 years, isn't he? How old is Muhammad?
Yeah, he's more than 20.
More than 20 years. So you say that you give it, yes? You said that you give his sadaqatul fitr. In this case, it's very important, uncle, that Muhammad tells you, Dad, I give you permission to pay sadaqatul fitr on my behalf. If you give sadaqatul fitr for Muhammad and Muhammad ko pata nahi hai, Muhammad doesn't even know, then his sadaqatul fitr doesn't get accepted.
He knows, I tell him, okay, I'm paid to sadaqatul fitr.
Yeah, you should, before you pay, you should tell him, you should take his permission. Maybe Muhammad might say, no Dad, I want to give. Maybe he might say, I want to give. Maybe he might want to. But how old is she?
Daughter be old.
Old, and does she have at least?
Working.
So she's working. So even in this case, better, to be honest, I will tell you the truth. It's better if she gives you the sadaqatul fitr, and it's only £5, £3-4.
Money just.
No, but if you give it, then you have to have that conversation with them. If I give for my adult son, I don't have an adult son, but if I was to, and he doesn't even know, then that's not good. For child, it's fine, because bache na. But for adult, they need to know. You need to have this conversation with them, and they need to give you the permission. For wife as well, yes. Yeah, you need to know. You need to have that conversation.
Don't take permission. I just tell them that I'll give the
But it's better to say to them, "Is it okay?"
I'm giving the
It's better to say to them, "Is it okay? I give for you." And if they say yes, it's fine. But to be honest, £3-4 if they give from their wealth, it's better for them. It's better for them because it makes their wealth purify, isn't it? Do you understand? So it's better that an adult give it on his own. And for example, if Muhammad wanted to, Muhammad can say to you, Dad, Abba, here, take £3-4. This is my sadaqatul fitr. You can, give it wherever you want, but from my money, I'm giving you the sadaqatul fitr. You don't need to give from your money. It's better to do this, much better to do this. And if you do give from your money, you need to tell him. You need to speak to him and say, is it okay? Do you give me permission? And he needs to say, that's fine. Do you understand? It's very important that we do this, especially with adult children, okay? So, if a child receives money and it equates the nisab or more, the sadaqatul fitr should be given from the child's wealth. But if the dad wants to give it from his wealth, it's fine, okay? But it should be given from the child's wealth. And if a child is born on the day of Eid after Fajr, if he is born on the day of Eid, if a baby is born on Eid day after Fajr, then sadaqatul fitr will not be wajib on him. If the baby is born before Fajr, then sadaqatul fitr will be wajib on him. The reason why, because the time of sadaqatul fitr becoming wajib is from Fajr, yes? If you're born after Fajr, then you've already missed time, isn't it? Some time has already gone. That's why it's not wajib on a newborn baby on Eid day, after Fajr. Before Fajr, because that baby found all this time, then sadaqatul fitr will be wajib on him. And how much is sadaqatul fitr? A good question. How much is sadaqatul fitr? As we spoke about fidya humne kaha less than 2 kg. Same with sadaqatul fitr. It's all the same amount. Sadaqatul fitr is also 1.92 kg. 1.92 kg of wheat or its value. Value £3, maybe £4. You need to check your local groceries, okay? Or whatever your local masjid has stipulated. So sometimes masjids stipulate £5, isn't it? So many masjid, maybe even more. So whatever your masjid has stipulated, that's how much you will give, okay? And it's the same as fidya. How much the fidya was, sadaqatul fitr is the same. And the sadaqatul fitr, same as fidya. Fidya, you can give 10 days fidya to one person, yes? Same with sadaqatul fitr. Sadaqatul fitr can be given to one person. Yeah, sadaqatul fitr can be given to one person. For example, your sadaqatul fitr, Muhammad sadaqatul fitr, you can give it to one person, or you can give your sadaqatul fitr to 2-3 people. Up to you, inshallah. Does that make sense? So the key things to remember, fidya is about £3 or 2 kg of wheat, less than 2 kg of wheat. Sadaqatul fitr is also £3 or less than 2 kg of wheat, and you need to give it, inshallah. Sadaqatul fitr needs to be given before Eid Salah. Before Eid Salah, this is very important. Before Eid Salah, inshallah. And this brings us to the end of the 4th lesson, inshallah. We will carry on with the 5th lesson next time inshallah. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
Although I just tell them, my daughter even, because they don't come to much, I say, okay, I paid your fee. I just let them.